Hey, Soozie and Miss Crissy here, and we're backstage at the Palais for the wonderful, fabulous Go Show. We just happened to find Jeff Joseph. Hello, Jeff.
Hi, Soozie.
How you going?
Oh, look, I'm fine. We're about to go to air in 45 minutes.
It's exciting, isn't it?
And we're very excited, particularly about this show because it's everything we wanted in terms of the lineup. We've rediscovered Brian Cadd and Ronnie Charles, put them together as representation of the group.
The group.
And they haven't actually worked together for 40 years.
Oh, wow.
Been 40 long years. But they went out during rehearsals and it was like they'd never stopped.
Ronnie Charles' voice gets better
every
with
year.
age.
Yeah.
How can?
He did the show for us 2 years ago, our first Go Show Gold. And he was phenomenal then.
Yeah.
And each year he just keeps getting better and better and better.
And the bugger smokes a packet of ciggies a day, he tells me.
And hates drink.
Yeah.
Mm.
And it improves his voice, he tells me.
It does. It gives it a bit of
something else.
I was going to say roughage, but that's not the right term for a voice, is it?
I think that's what we need as we get older, isn't it?
I certainly do. Certainly do.
Put some fibre in our life.
Otherwise life's too much of a struggle.
So we've got Colleen Hewitt tonight and she's just...
phenomenal.
What a voice that woman has.
She laid them dead in Adelaide like I'd never seen.
Yeah.
I've known Colleen for nearly all her life, all her professional life, and even prior to that, actually, when she first came to Melbourne from Bendigo.
Bendigo girl,
And talk about someone getting better with age, she is absolutely stupendous.
And a beautiful woman at that.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. And Dinah Lee.
Dinah Lee was with us also last year.
Yes.
And she's great. She still does Reet Petite and Don't You Know Yokomo.
And Can't She Move?
Oh, she's one of the original rockers.
Yeah.
Formerly of New Zealand, of course.
Yeah, with Maxi Merritt.
Max Merritt.
All
the Kiwi boys. All the Kiwi boys. Yeah.
He loved
Ray
working
Columbus.
with her. Yeah, and the Invaders, was it?
Ray Columbus and the Invaders.
Yeah. See, I know these because I had a brother who loved music.
There you go.
Yeah.
And you hate it?
Oh, you hate it. You can see,
I can tell.
It's just awful for
you
me.
You really hate music.
Yeah.
It's drudgery for you to do this.
I'm the child of a mum and dad that were musicians.
That might explain.
Might explain my love for it.
Yeah.
So, Jeff, for those who may have been under a rock for most of their life and may not, some of our viewers may not know who you are, tell us a little about your career because you've got some amazing stuff under your belt.
You got to spare 6 months?
Well, we could start now.
Okay. This is chapter 1 of many chapters. I started in this business back in 1964. So next year is the 50th anniversary. Oh.
That's remarkable.
Yeah. Which happens to coincide, I can tell you now, with the 50th anniversary of the Go Show, for which we will have the 50th anniversary Go Show Gold Concert. Tour. Next year. You've heard it first.
We got the scoop.
Yes, so I started in 1965 working as a promotions manager and artist manager at Pinocchio's restaurant. We had a management division which managed artists like April Byron, originally from Adelaide,
yes.
The Flies, which featured Ronald Burns, a singer from the Go Show and rock and roll era of the late 50s, early 60s, Colin Buckley,
yes,
and several others over a period of time. And then the following year, 1965, Ronnie decided to go solo. Asked me would I manage him. I did. Took him on together with a band from Pinocchio's called the Wild Colonials, which featured Mick Flynn, who later went on to the Mixtures.
That's right.
I had the two of them and Colin Buckley, and I worked from home. Things grew over a period of time very quickly. Recording contracts for Ronnie and so on, recording contracts for the Wild Colonials, and all of a sudden I'm very busy at home sitting by the side of my bed at a desk. And that's how it started, and it's just evolved and gone on from there. I won't bore you with all the details of all of those years, because it would take too long, but suffice to say, I've had a ball over those years. I wouldn't have changed anything, or maybe an isolated thing here or there, but not too much at all. I mean, I've been involved in television. I produced New Faces with Bert. I was production manager with Healthy, Wealthy and Wise. I produced Abbott documentaries with Greg Evans, who I also went on to manage years later. I got into sport management with the late Trevor Barker from St Kilda. He was the first VFL AFL player to have a manager.
And to have a profile.
And yeah. So I've had a good time, a great time. I've really enjoyed it. Barry Gibb asked me to go back to London to manage him, but out of loyalty to Ronnie at the time, I just said, I'm sorry, I can't do it as much as I would like to. I stayed put here with Ronnie and the others. And Barry went back to London, but then, as it happened, the Bee Gees reformed.
Yeah.
So it wouldn't have lasted too long, but it would have set me up nicely in the UK. But we have a great friendship. Olivia Newton-John and I, we are co-godparents to my nephew.
How gorgeous.
And so it's been a great time. It's taken me to all corners of the earth with the management of the Seekers. I managed them, 3 times. Three different incarnations of the group. So yes, I've had a great time. We've produced some wonderful concerts over the years for some different organisations and commercially. I wouldn't change a thing. And of course, 2 years ago, Dennis and I, and together with John Blanchfield, got together and created the concept of Go Show Gold. And it's worked so well. We are so thrilled with the public reaction and acceptance of it that it will continue as long as we can feed the right acts into the show.
Because I happened to buy a ticket and come to Go Show Gold last year with my much older brother. I'm just giving him stick there.
Yeah.
And I thought, I'll go along, this is his music. I was captivated.
People are.
It was amazing.
Well, the interesting thing is, whilst the average demographic age of the people who would support Go Show Gold would be 55 to 60-ish, because they were the audience of the television show. And we have St John's Ambulance standing by with walkers and wheelchairs for those people who may need it. Only joking. No, I'm not. We also get a younger age group coming along because they've rediscovered the music of that era.
Real music.
Well, it's so much more simple than a lot of the music of today. It's not as complex. It's far more resilient, I guess, to a large extent. And the younger age group are picking up on that. And when you say, what music are you into? Oh, I love this, I love that. And you think, hang on, that's all out of the 60s and early 70s,
Yeah.
I mean, when I brought the Zoot over from Adelaide in 1968, everyone said, oh, a pink thing? A bunch of puffs, And then over the years from that point onwards, there was an acceptance for them.
Yep.
They dropped the pink thing, we burnt their clothes on Uptight, and they went on to bigger and better things, of course, finishing up with Eleanor Rigby, and then they've all done their individual thing, and unfortunately we lost my very dear friend Daryl.
This time last year.
Last year, Daryl passed away, and as a civil celebrant also, as I am, he wanted me to do his service or ceremony, which we did at the Comedy Theatre, and it was fantastic. Public reaction, the outpouring was phenomenal.
It was hard to believe because I had a little chat with him, Daryl, this time last year, and said, I'll interview you in a couple of weeks, and I kicked myself because the couple of weeks and then he was unwell.
Yeah.
And it was hard to believe.
Well, it happened straight after the Go Show concert in Sydney. We came back from Sydney on May 4, and as of the following week, with medical tests and everything else,
unbelievable.
it was just downhill from there. Yeah. And
he looked like he was a kid on stage last year.
Always did.
Yeah.
Always. He prided himself in his grooming and the way he approached the public. I never heard him have a bad word to say about anyone.
And no one had a bad word about him.
No.
And you know what? He used to iron everyone's clothes.
He did. I know.
He did everything. Jimmy Keys, he kept it in line.
He took over from me, you see. I used to iron their stuff back in the days of the Zoot. And then he took over from me afterwards when the Zoot disbanded.
Yeah.
And went on to other stuff. Rick went to America, of course. B went to LRB.
And what is in the water for him? He has not aged.
B?
No, Rick.
Rick Springfield?
What's the go with him?
Well, I guess it's success.
Who was
success
he? Dr. Someone on
Noah, Dr.
Dr.
Noah, whatever, on General Hospital.
Oh, we got crook, so Dr. Noah could have examined my heart to see if it was all right.
Well, I understand he's going back to do a reprise performance.
I didn't mind that.
And he's just got his star on the Walk of Fame.
Walk of Fame.
Yeah, so he's done very well.
He never stops touring, does he?
No, he keeps on going. I don't know how he does it, but he's touring pretty much nearly all of the year.
Yeah, he looks like a pup himself.
Oh, he's great. He's a phenomenal performer and a great person.
Yeah.
He came out to visit Daryl, as did B, during Daryl's last few weeks, and I took them to see Daryl at home and in the hospital, and they went back home satisfied and happy that they'd seen him before.
Their friend.
Yeah.
Lifelong friend.
Yeah, very much so.
And we've lost Terps.
Lost Terps, unfortunately. I had to conduct his service in Sydney. which is a privilege for me because Terps and I had known each other since 1963.
Yeah.
And we were great friends, and through the era of the Go Show, of course, and beyond. And I conducted his ceremony up there, which was, you know, as I say, a privilege for me, having been such close friends for so long. And then, of course, Daryl. And now, Bill Putt.
Which is unfathomable.
And I conduct his ceremony next Saturday.
Okay.
Mm.
They're very fortunate that they've got someone that can speak from the heart and know
Well,
them.
it's not just it's someone from within the industry as well, who has an understanding and an appreciation of the industry and their position in the industry. Speak with maybe a little bit of authority, but you do what you've got to do and what you love doing, you know.
And that's why tonight and nights like the Go Show are really important for people to get off their bums, get out and see some live music, because we're lucky to have the artists here performing.
Well, we are. Our live music situation, dare I say it, is probably a little bit ill at the moment, from my point of view, mainly because of the lack of decent venues.
Yes.
And I go back to the very early days when there was something like 750 dancers in the metropolitan area alone. And now you can probably count on one hand, maybe two hands, what we've got and what sort of acts can only work there.
Could see live music 7 nights a week, couldn't you?
Oh, every night.
Wherever you want, a smorgasbord.
I got to say, added to that, it was like it's like television.
Yeah.
Where's our television exposure for our talent?
Yeah.
It's non-existent. We have nothing, absolutely. Unless you can get to do one of the morning shows, you've got nothing else. And that's an indictment on the television industry, I have to say. And I've been part of it on and off over a period of years. But I know producing variety and entertainment at large is not a cheap exercise. But if they can, you know, if they're buying international stuff at a reasonable price, why can't they get behind some local stuff at a reasonable price?
E.g. Wrokdown TV.
Exactly.
What are they thinking, Jeff? Tell them.
Who knows? Get off your bums and do something about it.
Yeah. Good on you.
Thanks.
We got an endorsement. Really appreciate your time, and
my pleasure.
I really respect you for all that you've done for our wonderful
Thank
industry.
you. And I know right now, so does your producer.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank
Over
you.
and out for Wrokdown. See
Bye.
ya. Thank you.